Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. Oh dear, 3 deer. I just watched 3 deer run through the dog park. And I have my camera turned the wrong way. Go figure. Anyhow, this video is part 3 on grieving the loss of my husband Ken, but also that life does go on. Oh, I gotta stop this. Anyhow, I tried to catch the deer on video, but they ran through me. Quite often in our dog park, we have wild animals that go through. We have fox, we have deer. These were 3 deer, and oh, they were beautiful. So, back to the video. So, one of the reasons I'm doing these videos are for remembering Ken. And I find on a day where it's quiet and, I'm out on my walk, it's good to remember him. I always thought that I'd forget what he sounded like, but I have videos where he's talking. Ken was a humble man. He never boasted, never ever was one who would talk about his accomplishments and what he had done in life, and he'd done many things in life, and this is part of getting to know him. Now, this is a man who would attack anything that needed to be done. Didn't have any fear. Maybe didn't really know how to go about it, but he would read, or we'd go buy books, because at that time the internet wasn't really big. So as a family, we built a cabin, and it was built from the ground up. We did have some help from some friends, but for the most part, we did it ourselves. And you know how women are. We need to know why. So if there's any men listening to this and your wife is helping you, it might be good to explain why you're doing something. And that used to frustrate him. And he would just say, he wouldn't really explain. So I always needed to know why. And why isn't it going faster? And why? But we bought a piece of land, and I never thought that we'd ever build anything on it. I thought, well, we'll get a trailer and we'll park it by the lake and go out there and on the weekends. But no, one day he walked in and he said, we're going to our local department store. And at that time, they had plans for cottages and garages. I believe they still do. And so we went there. We picked out a plan, and our son was partners in the cabin, and we would pass it by him, and actually he didn't have much say in it. Don't tell him that, though. I don't think he watches these videos. So we would take his recommendations, and we had to do a certain foundation because of where we were building it. We didn't have a well. We had a system of tanks in what we call the crawl space, and that was our water that we could use to flush toilets, do dishes. But back to the beginning of this. So we went out to this lot by the lake, and there was a shed on it. I think an 8x12 shed. That was the shed we lived in while we were building the cabin. And so we lived in the shed while we were going in and we would take absolutely every weekend and go and build. And we're the kind of family, or Ken and I were, is if there's not a purpose to it, why are we doing it? You go on vacation, there has to be a purpose. Not the kind of people who can sit by the lake for hours and hours. I'm just gonna pause this. So anyhow, back to my video. There were some people walking along there, and I often wonder why in nature people have to play their music loud. Isn't nature loud enough for them? I don't know. Anyhow, on our walks, we usually avoid people. Mainly because it's just easier. So anyhow, back to you. So on this lake property, we would have, he didn't like water. Okay, so why did we buy a lot on the lake? Don't know. So he wasn't one to go in a kayak or in a boat or anything like that. Wasn't one to sit on the beach and have a hot dog roast. Nope. He preferred to eat in the cabin away from bugs. Not that he was a fuddy-duddy. He just didn't like having to swat mosquitoes away and flies away and all the thing that comes with nature. So he was a humble man. Never one to say, I did this, I did that. He would just do it. He didn't expect huge thank yous or anything like that. He was just one of those people who show up. Have you ever had that? He was just like one of those people. If he said he was going to do something, he did it. If he said he was going to be somewhere, he was there. Unless, of course, things came up and he couldn't be. So he helped out a lot of people. I was thinking this morning, there are a lot of people that he worked with and relatives he would help, and he wouldn't expect anything for it. He just did it. And not grudgingly. He would go in, not complain about doing it. He would just do it. And I was his partner in crime. And so whatever he planned, I knew I would be part of because we were a unit. And I often wonder today what's missing and why so many marriages are failing, and that might be part of it. Maybe not working as a unit, expecting us on Earth and Moon, and I have not very low expectations. I shouldn't say it that way, but I wasn't demanding. I expected to live in a nice home. And what I mean by nice, it didn't have to have all the bells and whistles and pools and all that kind of stuff, but warm and dry and flush toilets. Those were the three. Anyhow, back to this lot we bought. This is a bit of history. My granddaughter didn't like using outhouses. So, what did Ken do? On our little 8x12 shed, we had put in the holding tank, which we had to use for sewer. We couldn't put in a septic system. We had to use a holding tank. And so he put in a little add-on to the shed. And the add-on had a toilet. And the toilet was fed by gravity, so the pipe would go down to the holding tank. And in there he put in kind of a makeshift shower and a drain in the ground, which all drained into the holding tank. And he did that for her. For the rest of us, he would have been, say, oh, just use the outhouse. But for her, he put that in. And she didn't like the dark. So what he did is he put lights all over the place. And when you turned them on, I'm pretty sure you could see our cabin from outer space, because our granddaughter was afraid of the dark. I gotta say, I'm not fond of it either. And this washroom of types attached to this 8x12 shed, we used it for a couple of years. It was awesome. Never had troubles flushing, because it was right above the holding, well, up from the holding tank, but gravity fed. So anyhow, we got the foundation done to the cabin, and it was a 525-foot square cabin, and life looked good. We had a crawl space, and my granddaughter and her sisters and I would sleep in the crawl space. Now, Ken had a little bit of, didn't like confined spaces. So he would sleep up in the shed. That good old shed. It's still there to this day. It has to stay because that's where the power came in. And he would stay up in the shed. And we'd get up in the morning, and there would be Grandpa sitting on a stool outside the shed drinking his coffee. He had made coffee for me because I'm kind of grumpy when I first wake up. And he knew that. So he always had coffee for me. Now, Ken's coffee, you could stand a spoon up in that. You were awake when you drank it. So, yeah. And so after we got the foundation done and we got the walls up, we progressed on our own from that stage forward. And one day I'll share pictures of the cabin, because there were pictures taken when we owned the cabin. And we had fun there. We would work hard all day, and our days would start at 7 and end at 10, because we get sunlight till almost 11 o'clock at night, so you could work steady pretty well all day long. Ken and I were happiest when we were busy. We worked well together. I could read his mind. I mean, oh, there's a squirrel. I'm seeing all sorts of wildlife today. Standing up, running, is looking at us. Oh, he's going to come and attack us. I'm pretty sure I'm bigger than him. He's so cute. So I'm going to sign off for now and see if I can capture the squirrel. Okay, I put that little video of the squirrel, and he was so cute. I think he had thoughts of maybe tackling us, but we're a bit taller than he is. She is, don't know. Never get close enough to really find out. So yeah, that's just the beginning of the cabin stories. And yeah, hopefully this video, you enjoyed it and it was helpful. And it's just my journey. It's about my experiences, and it's from my point of view. So yeah, I could go on and on and on. That's the thing, right? If you've lost the other part of you, how do you go on? Part of it is remembering the good things. And that's what I'm doing through these videos. Is there was a lot more good than there was bad. And I can't say even the bad was that bad. I'm going to show you these. These are just growing wild in our park. It's so cool. Neat. I have to take my other good camera out with me one day and do this. I'm not quite sure how it's going to be for color and stuff. It's an older camera. I think it'll probably do better than my phone. But I'm less obvious when I have my phone. And I usually stay away from people. So, I'm also going to start recording my adventures of video editing. I use DaVinci Resolve. I won't show you the screens and stuff because of copyright, but I will explain to you what I'm doing and what I'm exploring on that particular day. So that'll be another set of videos. My life is don't expect the same old thing every day, because I have a lot of interests. And right now, I'm standing by this beautiful pine tree. Anyhow, I'm going to sign off for now, and I hope you enjoyed the video. See you in the next one.